Welcome to the Midgard Press. My name's Jay. So we're going to cover wargs. We've talked about goblins in the bestiary. In fact, I have goblins right here on the screen. And that's only because within this adventure, it mentions both goblins and wargs at the same time. But we're not going to worry about the goblins. We've talked about goblins. We've given scenarios for goblins. We're not talking about goblins right now. Okay? We're just not doing it. Don't get me wrong, I love goblins. Goblins are my one of my most favorite monsters. But we're not going to talk about goblins. We're talking about wargs. We're talking about their faithful companions that they use. These are their monsters, basically. These are the beasts that they ride into battle, that they feed on a daily basis. Mostly the adventurers, of course. But wargs. It doesn't even give a description for the wargs, and I'm very sad about that. It doesn't even give an image for the wargs either, and I'm very sad about that. I'm going to create art for it. That's what I'm going to do. But anyways, they have a ferocity of 1. The size is normal. Movement is 12. Armor is none. Now, they could have armor. They could have armor, but they don't have armor just in the basic skills or basic stats. And HP is 18. So they have 3 attacks. They have a 1 and 2 for Ravenous Howl, 3 to 4 is a Pounce, and then 5 to 6 is the Warg Bite. So, of the D6, the 1 and 2, Ravenous Howl, the Warg lets out a Ravenous Howl. All player characters within 10 meters must make a willpower roll to resist the fear. 3 to 4 of the D6, Pounce. The Raging Warg pounces at a player character and presses them against the ground. The attack inflicts 2d8 bludgeoning damage. And then 5 to 6, the Warg Bite. The Warg seizes the victim in its salvering maw and swings them back and forth. The attack inflicts 2d10 piercing damage, and the victim is hurled 2d4 meters, laying prone. Now, you should remember these because we just went over these when we did the Warg Rider. Because what they did, sorry, my face is itching. You should remember these 3 attacks: the Ravenous Howl, the Pounce, and the Warg Bite. These are all reminiscent from the Warg Rider that we just covered 2 episodes ago. Now, that being said, the reason that the Warg Rider has 3 of, or the Warg itself has 3 of the same attacks as the Warg Rider is because the Warg Rider is made up of 2 entities, the Warg and the Rider, the Goblin Commander. And that's why there's 6 total. 3 for the Warg Rider, 3 for the Goblin Commander. But if you look at the Warg itself, it only has 3. So that's why. But the things you can do with the Warg, I mean, the Warg is basically a goblin wolf. That's all it is. It is a wolf that has, over time, learned to live underground with goblins, or where goblins live, I should say, because they've adapted, they've changed, they've molded, they've evolved, I guess is the best word. They've become something more. So I always consider wargs to be the same as like wolves, except wargs are like the goblin wolf. I don't know. That's just the way I've always thought about it. But little, random encounters that you could do with wargs, you could easily put 2 of these, 3 of these, in fact, in a encounter with a party. I would do 1 warg per 2 players. That's what I would do. Now, or maybe 1 warg per 3. Depends on your party's combat readiness. Like if you've got more fighters, more like knights, within the party, then you're good, you're solid. But if you've got mostly thieves or maybe a well, no, blacksmith still hit pretty hard too. Anyways, you can decide on how you put it in the party. I mean, shoot, you could do one warg per party player character. Sorry, I can't talk. I'm just excited. So, but yeah, you could easily, like, if you have your player characters going to investigate like a goblin den, go ahead and on the outside of it, put some wargs. Make this a small encounter for them. Because in most fantasy settings where goblins have wargs and everything like that, or have some kind of beast, typically they're at the front of the dungeon. Like they're like the guard dogs, basically. They're protecting the environment, the area, the encounter for the potential goblins later on. So put some in the very beginning, make it easier so that way your players know they're going down the right plate. Now, just because they're fighting the wargs doesn't mean that it's going to hurt. I mean, it's going to hurt them potentially, but this is a good indicator, like I just said, that this is the right cave or dungeon or wherever you have your goblin den. So, you could also, I mean, your party could discover a cub, a warg cub, tons of them. And maybe they raise them up into their own companions of some sort, maybe. That could be a fun encounter. Your party encounters a litter of wargs. Do they slaughter them or do they save them and potentially raise them? That could be something. Or just in the countryside. As your party is adventuring, going from one place, from A to B, wherever they're going, whether it be in the grasslands, in the forest, even in the mountains, have them get encountered by a pack of wargs. Like, it's a fantastic idea. You could put wargs basically anywhere. Maybe not underwater. I don't think that would work too well for them, but you could pretty much put them anywhere. So, it's worth a shot. But that's a quick, easy video for you all for wargs. Go ahead and like this video. Comment down below. How would you use a warg? Where do you potentially see wargs being used? Or do you not use wargs at all? Do you just use regular wolves? Let me know down below. But of course, as always, share this video. Share it with everybody that wants to watch some Dragonbane. So, until the next episode, my friends, live on and game on, as always.